1940, that building was the site of the Boston Massacre. So the colonial governor, between the winters of 1769 and 1770, made some really controversial remarks, and that riled up the Bostonians. So on the night of March 5th, 1770, those Bostonians came out to the then Massachusetts Meeting House to protest and demand an audience with the colonial governor. But he wasn't there, so those Bostonians took their anger out on the British troops standing guard by shouting insults and throwing anything at them, from snowballs to even bricks. So in the commotion, the British soldiers thought they heard the command to open fire, so they did. But no such command was ever issued, so 5 Bostonians lost their lives for nothing. Those soldiers would be tried for their role in the Boston Massacre. But thanks to their lawyer, John Adams, they got off on all the charges. As fate would have it, this would be the same John Adams who, 6 years later, would sign the Declaration of Independence around the time independence was declared in Philadelphia on July 4th, 1776. And that declaration will be read on that balcony there in Boston when it arrived 2 weeks in the house. Boston City Hall, Faneuil Hall, Quincy Market, the Boston Holocaust Memorial, and Boston Public Market. And if you want to go on the Freedom Trail to the north end, this is also your stop as well. So who here wants to hop off at stop number 4? Anyone for stop number 4? Okay, so you like to hop off here at stop number 4? Alright, sounds good. And just note, buses are every 35 to 45 minutes.
Alright, we're all good to go.
Oh, Sam Adams Draft House? That was ironically this stop here. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like kind of hidden in that hill, so we'll be right next to it. When we go by from 9 to 1, that's where you'll see it. But if you want to go there, I can put in a request to my driver to drop you off between 9 and 1 so you can go to the Draft House. Yep. It's behind us.
In the 80s, and it was made out of wood. Although the current stone-based structure dates back. Burying ground. So this is the 3rd oldest cemetery in Boston, and it dates back to the 1660s. The big monument at the center there, that is for Benjamin Franklin's family, as his parents are buried here, and they like to honor Benjamin Franklin, who was born and raised here in Boston, although he would later move to Philadelphia, where he pretty much lived the rest of his life there. And then there's some notable graves here, including that for Samuel Adams, who was the head of the Sons of Liberty, which orchestrated the Boston Tea Party in 1773, as well as for Paul Revere, who's famous for his midnight ride that he took on the night of April 18th to warn the militias in and around Lexington and Concord that the regulars, which is what they called the British troops back then, were coming. So were it not for his midnight ride, the British troops, when they arrived at Lexington and Concord, would have taken those guns without incident. But because of his warning, those militias were able to put up a fight the next day in the battle that started the American Revolutionary War. Now, on the right there, that smaller monument is for John Hancock. So John Hancock was one of our founding fathers, but he's most famous for signing the Declaration of Independence with such large handwriting that he wanted the Park Street Station. So Park Street Station, along with Boston Station down the street, these two subway stations opened in 1897, when the first ever subway line between here in the United States opened between these two stops. So that subway line has been extended multiple times, and today it's part of the MBTA Green Line. I should note the subway was built in the first place to allow the streetcars to get in and out of downtown Boston much more quickly and efficiently compared to when they get stuck behind each other at street level traffic, and that still remains the case to this day. And on the right here, this is the Embrace. So the embrace was sculpted by someone who saw a photo of Martin Luther King embracing his wife Coretta Scott King when he learned he had won the 1964 Nobel Peace Prize. The sculptor thought that moment would be a great way to convey Martin Luther King's teachings on love and reconciliation. When the embrace was first unveiled, though, there was a lot of criticism and controversy because critics thought it either oversimplified. Wilson Station is the other end of that original 1897 subway, and just south of the station there's a sharp curve, so you can hear the loud screeching of the streetcars even on the upper deck of this double-decker bus. And here on the right, this is Cutler Majestic Theater. So Cutler Majestic Theater is part of Emerson College, which is known for its theater program. So the theater program recruits students from all over the world, and people say the Emerson
together. Walking together.
Walk, just
Walk.
Whoa, we're walking. Oh, we're doing a
This is a video.
video.
걸어왔어.
네, 자, 그럼 우리 출발.
맥도날드.
is not only known for its garden, but during the peak summer months, it's also known for the pond, which usually massive glass skyscraper in front of us, and that is the John Hancock Tower. So the John Hancock Tower started construction in 1968, and it was completed in 1976. So this was and still remains the tallest building in Boston at about roughly 800 feet, and it's 60 stories tall. Now, if you were here for opening day for the John Hancock Tower, it would not have been a pleasant experience. The top of the building would sway to the wind, so a machine had to be installed on the 58th floor to keep the swaying from occurring because everyone was getting nauseous. But a bigger problem was that the glass windows would fall out without any warning whatsoever and crash into the ground below. And the cause of this was that the glass windows, the building wasn't built properly, so it couldn't keep the glass windows inside. So, but everyone still calls it the John Hancock Tower to this day. Now, the observation deck has been closed since 2001 in response to 9/11, and sadly there are no plans to reopen it anytime soon. Although if you have an office in the John Hancock Tower, it's one of the nicest places to have an office here in Boston. And I should note, the windows say reflect because the architect wanted the windows to reflect on the buildings which he thought were even more beautiful than the John Hancock Tower. Now we're arriving here at stop number 7, so this way we can hop off to explore Trinity Church, which we just passed on the right. Old South Church up there on the right. And then in front of us, this is the Boston Public Library, and at this traffic light, there's a West Radio broadcasting studio. So today on the Dartmouth Street side, they have the Farmers Market here, so you can check that out as well. They'll also have it again on Friday. And on the right, this is Trinity Church, so this dates back to 1733. And this church was originally built on Summer Street in downtown Boston. However, that church burnt down during the Great Fire of 1872, so they had to build the replacement church, and instead of building it on the Summer Street side, they chose to build it here on Copley Spurs, Newbury Street. You'll hop off the bus here, you'll make a left turn on Clarendon Street, and it'll be the next street over. Assuming it's still true that everything ships free, the employees here are the ones that make that all possible. And then here on the left, this building with the initials RH at the top, it actually serves as a men's clothing store. So from the early to mid 20th century, this is where you could go to get your own tailored suits. And then here on the right, this is the Berkeley. So the Berkeley is one of the oldest office buildings here in Boston, but it's still in full use. So it's not the most scenic place to look around inside, assuming they'll let you even. This is the closest stop to downtown crossing and Park Street as well. So this is stop number 9. Does anyone wish to hop off here at stop number 9? Okay. So someone asked about the statue over there on the left of John F. Kennedy. That is indeed a statue of him. So this section